Yeah, I heard you said I ain't the type for you. I don't regret it though, I learned from it. They should have you locked up for all the time you stole from us. Whoa, took you out when I had no money. Only person that you ever cared about was
NF back again on the Adam Bomb Show, man. Great to see you again. It's been like 6 months, so a lot has gone on in 6 months.
Yeah, crazy.
Let's just start right now, man. When you're constantly touring, because it's been on the road pretty much the entire year now. Is there a little part of you that looks back and goes, wow, I've done a lot?
Oh, 100%. Basically, this is all I've done the whole year, so I'm not even going to lie. I'm completely exhausted.
Yeah. NF on the Adam Bomb Show, we're about to do another show in Atlanta here. As you go along the way on this tour, I'm imagining there's more songs popping in your head that you want to create, more lyrics that comes to your mind. Give us a little taste of what you've been experiencing on this tour that you're going to take when you go back into the studio, because I'm imagining you're already writing on the road.
I'm always writing, but I won't go into too much detail, but obviously as I write about my life and experiences or whatever, so, you know, things I'm experiencing out here, just like the whole, it's not like I'm some artist that's so big I can't walk around or anything, but just like the fame aspect of like expectation that I put on myself and just like, you know, that people put on you even if they don't mean to or whatever it is. I don't know exactly. Just that whole experience and like as a person just trying to figure out how to get through that and figure out what to do.
Well, my wife is a huge fan of Lie. That's how she got into just hearing it on the radio. But you have all different types of fans, whether they're young, middle-aged, some older ones. When you go and make music, do you take that into account, or is it strictly what you want to put out and then whoever comes along for the ride comes along for the ride?
Yeah, I don't really think about ages, honestly. I mean, sometimes I'll think, is this song relatable? Yeah. But I won't be like, oh, I want to write this song for teenage kids and I want to write this, you know what I mean? Yeah. So, yeah. So it's just kind of like, if you relate to it, cool. If not, I think a lot of my songs are relatable to people in a lot of different ages. Yeah. I mean, you can see it in my crowds. You'll see a 40-year-old couple, and then you'll see, like, teenagers, and then you'll see college kids. You know, it's all over the place.
What is that feeling? And I've seen some videos of your tour right now, just some short ones, when the crowd starts singing along, chanting along. What's that feeling for you on stage when you get that back from them?
It's amazing. I mean, it's awesome to see. I say this all the time, but one of the coolest things is being on stage and just music's a really powerful thing, and just seeing all these people that we don't really know each other, but we come into a place that's like we all kind of feel connected. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's awesome. It's encouraging and makes me extremely thankful.
Hey, NF's on the Adam Bomb Show. That's another thing I wanted to ask you. As you're doing this tour and as you're, you know, experiencing all these things, I mean, I know you jumped off, and I know a lot of people have asked you about that whole Logic tour, but is there something you took away from doing a tour, not only with another big artist, but Logic? Is there something that you learned from that tour that you're able to take with you on your own headlining tour?
I mean, me and Logic are really different artists. I was super thankful to do that tour. It was amazing because there was crowds on that tour that were 12, 15,000, and Kyle was on the tour as well. So Logic's team is just amazing, really cool people. I became pretty good friends with a couple of his guys. So I love doing those tours because, or I love doing that tour. I guess I haven't really done a lot of opening tours, but there's a lot less pressure on me just because I wasn't the headliner. And the only way to explain that is your set's shorter. There's a lot of people that don't know who you are. Like, a lot of my fans came out, which was cool, but then there's thousands of people that don't really know who I am. Yeah. So I also love performing in front of people who don't know who I am because I just like, you know, getting new fans and feel like the challenge of having – it's a different performance when you're playing – like tonight when I'm playing in front of all these people that know me because they paid to come see me specifically, then people like – who don't know you, and they're kind of like, you're going to have to prove to me that, you know, so it was a dope tour.
Yeah. NF is on the Adam Bomb Show. We talked about, and you just brought up something. I asked you back in February, now that you have already set yourself not only doing your own thing, you were on the Logic tour, now you're back to doing your own thing, and you just mentioned it, pressure. Do you feel pressure now because you've put out hits? You've made things that relate to people. Do you feel pressure at all to keep putting out things like that?
100%. I think anybody who I think, first of all, you think you're going to feel a lot different than you do once you reach certain goals. Mm-hmm. That's what I've always realized in life, even especially now, because I feel like I'm in such a small percentage of people that get to do what I'm doing. So that makes me super thankful, but then also sometimes it makes me feel really empty because I'm like, well, why don't I feel more happy, or why don't I feel, the way I thought I would feel, That's what I've learned in this industry is like everything's just different than what you think it is. Touring's different. Getting a #1 on radio is different. It's just all different. Even if you're thankful or grateful for it, I think everyone in life is, a lot of times we all talk about how like money isn't everything or whatever, but everyone's kind of working to make money, to save money, to be able to, at the end of their life do whatever and retire. And it's so interesting because I think that's why a lot, and I don't want to speak for everyone, but I make a good amount of money now, and it's just like it makes me realize even more of how much like money is not going to make you happy because, I think that's why celebrities and people can get really low sometimes because they have all that, what some people would define as success and awesome, which it is awesome, but I think you'll get a feeling that you won't get from it.
What do you personally define as success in your career? Do you have like a definition of it?
I don't know if I have an exact definition. I wrote a song called Why, and that was the first line in the song was like, what's your definition of success? And then I kind of, go off on my own thing on that song, but it's like, I don't know exactly what it is because I know what I think most people would describe as success. I think technically, if you looked at my dreams and what I wanted to do when I grew up, you would define what I'm doing now probably as successful. But as human beings and someone with my personality, we always want more. We always want to succeed more. And it's like the weird thing is that's kind of what drives us. And then the scary thing is sometimes once you get to that place, because a lot of artists, sometimes you hit that wall and you don't go past it. And so then once that happens and then you're on the decline, I think that's when it's easy for people to get, depressed and feel like they're not worth it or whatever. Yeah. So
NF's on the Adam Bomb Show. A couple more questions. One, and I ask a lot of artists this, is there's a question you could ask your fans? What would be one question that you'd want an answer from or know from them? And I know I'm putting you on the spot, and I get this every reaction with every artist, but everybody's kind of like, that's interesting.
No, it is interesting, but I don't know if I have one that I could just come up with on the spot to ask them.
Finally, as the year goes on, a lot of other things are going on, like just holidays and, times with other friends. Do you ever stop and think, am I missing anything just because I'm working all the time? Or does that even enter your head? Because I know you're constantly going and you're constantly touring or writing or things like that. Does just life that's going by outside of that you ever wonder if you're missing anything?
Yeah, there's like a lot of years where, and this is even less important, but I'm not home for even my own birthday but I've been able to go to like Christmas and things like that where I try to make sure, because my family's important to me. So, but yeah, sometimes I do think about it where I'm like, oh, this kind of sucks that I can't be home, but also, there's a lot of sacrifices in anything you do. And so sometimes you just got to suck it up and do it.
Man, I appreciate the time. NF on the Adam Bomb Show. Thanks, my man.
Appreciate it.
You told your friends that I'm just not your type. If that's how you really feel, then why'd you call last night? You say all I ever do is just control your life. But how you gonna lie like that? How you gonna lie?